I used to believe that music was the one thing in my life that couldn't betray me. I was wrong. I didn't lose my trust in some dramatic industry scandal or cutthroat label deal. I lost it in my own living room, to the man who promised to love me, protect me, and stand by me till death do us part. My name is Lena Brooks, and for most of my life, my dreams were bigger than my reality. By day, I was a receptionist at a small dental clinic in Nashville, Tennessee. I answered phones, scheduled appointments, and smiled at patients who didn't bother to read the "no eating before your procedure" sign. But at night, I was a songwriter. Not a famous one. Not a signed one. Just a woman with a second-hand guitar, a cheap mic, and a notebook full of lyrics I never showed anyone. I grew up in a trailer park just outside the city. My mom worked 2 jobs. My dad left when I was 12. Most kids on my street talked about surviving paycheck to paycheck, not chasing dreams. But I had an old radio that my mom bought at a yard sale, and it changed everything. I'd lie on my thin mattress, listening to country songs, pop ballads, gospel choirs, anything that came through the static. I'd imagine my own voice coming from those speakers one day, my words spilling out into people's cars and kitchens. Music wasn't a hobby, it was air. Still, life had a way of pushing dreams down. Rent. Bills. My mom's health. I took whatever jobs kept us afloat, and slowly, music became something I did in secret instead of something I chased in public. Until I met Ethan. I met Ethan Collins at an open mic night in a bar off Broadway. I'd gone alone, determined to finally sing one of my songs. But when I got there, my courage evaporated. I sat in the back, nursing a soda, watching other people take the stage, some shaky, some confident, some brilliant. Then Ethan walked up. Tall, sandy blonde hair, worn leather jacket, guitar slung over his shoulder like it was part of him. He introduced himself to the crowd with an easy grin. "Name's Ethan," he said. "I write songs because therapy's too expensive." The room laughed. He played 3 original songs. They weren't perfect, but they were raw and honest. His voice had this warm, raspy quality. When he sang about heartbreak, it felt like he'd lived every word. After the show, we ended up next to each other at the bar. "You going up there?" he asked, nodding toward the tiny stage. I shook my head quickly. "Just watching." "You look like a writer," he said. I snorted. "What does a writer look like?" "Like you're carrying stories you haven't told yet," he replied. My heart did a little flip. We talked until closing time, about music, childhoods, favorite artists. For the first time, I admitted out loud that I wrote songs too. He leaned in, eyes bright. "Let me hear one," he said. I was embarrassed, but he insisted. So, in the parking lot under the yellow streetlights, I sang a verse from a song I'd written when I was 16. He stared at me like I'd just levitated. "Lena," he said quietly, "you're good. Like, really good." No one had ever said that to me before. We started dating. Then living together. Then, 3 years later, we got married in a small courthouse ceremony. In our vows, he said, "I promise to always be your biggest fan, your loudest supporter, and your safe place to sing." I believed him. Married life wasn't glamorous. We lived in a cramped apartment with thin walls and noisy neighbors. Ethan worked part-time at a music store and did gigs on weekends. I kept my job at the clinic. Money was always tight. But in the middle of all that, I finally decided to stop hiding. "I want to really try this," I told Ethan one night, sitting at our tiny kitchen table. My hands trembled as I said it. "Not just play around. I want to actually pursue a music career. Write. perform, pitch songs. All of it. He smiled. About time, he said. I've been waiting for you to catch up to your talent. His support gave me courage. I took some savings and bought a slightly better microphone, basic recording software, and a cheap audio interface. Ethan cleared a corner in the living room and called it Lena's studio. I knew my first real step had to be my first real song. Not just a scribble in a notebook, but something finished, polished, intentional. A song that said, "This is who I am. This is my voice." It took me 3 months. 3 months of staying up late, writing lines, deleting them, rewriting them. 3 months of humming melodies into my phone on lunch breaks. 3 months of listening to other artists, not to copy them, but to understand structure, emotion, build-up. The song was called Shadow Heart. It was about a woman who'd spent her life being invisible, overshadowed by louder people, bigger personalities, more confident souls. It was about finally stepping out of the shadows and claiming her own stage. The hook went something like, "I gave you my light so you wouldn't feel dark. I shrank myself down just to give you a spark. But I'm done playing ghost in my own work of art. I'm stepping out now with my shadow heart." I poured every insecurity, every quiet resentment, every flicker of hope into it. The day I finished the demo, I cried. Not because it was perfect, but because it was real. It was me. I played it for Ethan in our living room, my hands shaking over the guitar. He stared at me, stunned. "Lena," he whispered, this is the one. This is your song." "Our song," I corrected, smiling. "You've been with me through all of this." He shook his head. "No," he said. "This is you. This is the start of your career." I believed him. I had no idea those words would come back to haunt me. A few weeks later, Ethan came home from work talking about a new customer at the music store. "She's a singer," he said, dropping his keys in the bowl. "Her name's Brielle. She does covers on TikTok, has I don't know, 50,000 followers or something." I raised my eyebrows. "Nice. Good for her. She said she's trying to move into original music," he added casually. Asked if I knew any writers. I froze, hopeful. "And?" I asked. He hesitated. "I mentioned you," he said. "Told her my wife's an amazing songwriter. She seemed interested. I thought maybe. I don't know, you two could collaborate or something?" My heart leaped. My brain said, "Be cautious." My mouth said, "That would be awesome." The next weekend, he invited Brielle over. She was pretty in that effortless social media way, perfectly lined lips, long lashes, blonde hair in a messy bun that probably took 30 minutes to look messy. She walked into our apartment like she was stepping onto a set, ring light in one hand, camera in her bag. "Hi," she said, hugging me like we were old friends. "Ethan's told me so much about you. Your song is amazing." My cheeks flushed. "You heard it?" "Oh yeah," she said, turning toward Ethan with a grin. "He played it for me at the store." I was like, "Wait, who wrote that?" Something in my chest tightened. He played it for her without asking me? But I brushed it off. Maybe I was being sensitive. Ethan was proud. He wanted to show me off. We sat in the living room, and I played a couple more songs for her. She nodded along, occasionally typing on her phone. "You've got a real story voice," she said. People could feel this on TikTok. "I'm trying to expand my content. Maybe we could work together?" I could sing one of your songs, tag you, you know? It sounded flattering, but vague. Maybe, I said cautiously. I'm still figuring out how I want to present myself as an artist. I don't just want to be someone behind the scenes. Totally, she said. No worries. Just think about it. After she left, Ethan was buzzing. This could be good for you, he insisted. She's got reach. If she sings one of your songs and tags you, people will find you. Labels, producers, they all live online now. I know, I said slowly. But I also don't want to give my first real song away. He wrapped his arms around me. We'll figure it out, he said. I just want people to hear you. I wanted that too. That's what made what he did next unforgivable. The night I heard my own lyrics. 2 months passed. I kept working on my music, organizing my small catalog, researching how to pitch to publishers. Ethan kept gigging, working at the store, and helping me where he could, or so I thought. One Friday night, I was exhausted from a long week at the clinic. I curled up on the couch with my laptop and opened TikTok to scroll mindlessly. Within a minute, my thumb froze. There she was. Betrayal. Ring light glow. Soft focus filter. Cozy bedroom background. It was a live stream, she was talking to her followers, laughing. Okay, she said, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. I'm gonna play you guys my new original. It's super personal, so be nice. My heart skipped. New original? I turned up the volume. She strummed her guitar. And then she sang. I gave you my light so you wouldn't feel dark. I shrank myself down just to give you a spark. I stopped breathing. No. 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 She kept going. But I'm done playing ghost in my own work of art. I'm stepping out now with my shadow heart. My song. My exact hook. My melody. My chord progression. She kept going like it was the most natural thing in the world while comments flooded the screen. OMG, this is so good. You wrote this? This is your best song yet. I feel this in my soul. Shadow Heart sounds like a hit. I stared at the screen, the blood roaring in my ears. On autopilot, I typed a comment. Where did you get this song? The comment disappeared in the flood of heart emojis and fire gifs. I typed again. Who wrote this? I recognize these lyrics. No response. Brielle smiled into the camera as if she hadn't just stolen a piece of my soul and wrapped her name around it. When the live ended, I sat frozen, the dark room pressing in around me. I didn't know where to aim my shock, at her, for stealing it, or at the only person who had ever heard the finished version besides me. Ethan. Ethan came home an hour later, humming to himself. He found me still on the couch, laptop open, screen on Brielle's profile. Hey, babe, he said, dropping his keys. You okay? You look pale. I turned the laptop toward him and hit replay on the live stream recording she just posted. His expression shifted from casual to tense in an instant. Lena, he started. I raised a hand. Listen, I said. We listened to my song come out of another woman's mouth again. My melody. My lyrics, with only 2 lines changed. I paused the video halfway. Explain, I said softly. He swallowed. Okay, he said. First. I know how this looks. How does it look, Ethan? I snapped, my voice shaking. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you gave my song to someone else and let her claim it as her own. He ran a hand through his hair. It's not like that, he said. I meant for it to be a collaboration. Did she credit me anywhere? I demanded. In the caption? In the video? At all? He hesitated. No, he admitted. But that's just the first post. We were going to work out the details later. Work out the details later? I repeated, stunned. Ethan, you know how this industry works. First impressions stick. She just told 50,000 people this was her original song. My song. There is no collaboration if no one knows I exist. His jaw clenched. I was trying to help you, he insisted. Betrayal has reach. You don't. She said she'd sing it, tag you, maybe eventually get you in front of managers. I thought if people fell in love with the song first, you'd have leverage. I stared at him. You mean she would have leverage, I said. Because right now, she's the one with the audience, the credit, and my lyrics in her mouth. Don't be dramatic, he muttered. It's just one song. You can write more. The words hit me like a slap. Just one song, I whispered. My first real song. The one you told me was my start. The one I cried over when I finished it. Is that what my work is to you? Just one song? He exhaled, frustrated. You're overreacting, he said. This is how writers break in all the time. They let other people sing their stuff. You said yourself you might want to pitch songs. This is basically that, but with a social media twist. Pitching songs, I said carefully, usually involves permissions, contracts, and my name somewhere. Not my husband handing over my work behind my back. His face hardened. I'm just trying to get us out of this rut, he said. We're drowning in bills. My gigs barely cover rent. Your clinic job sucks the life out of you. Betrayal could get attention for this song. For you. Why can't you see that I'm on your side? I stared at him, really stared, and saw something I hadn't wanted to see. He wasn't on my side. He wanted to feel powerful. Needed. Like the connector, the one who made things happen. In his mind, my song was a tool. Not an extension of me. A silence stretched between us. Finally, I said. I want you to fix this. He blinked. What do you mean? I want you to call her, I said. Right now. Tell her the song is mine, that she doesn't have permission to claim it as her own, and that if she wants to use it, we will discuss proper credit and compensation. He hesitated. That's a strong move, he said slowly. She's already posted it. Taking it down will make her look bad. I'm not responsible for her integrity problem, I cut in. I am responsible for protecting my work. Call her, Ethan. His jaw flexed. I'll talk to her tomorrow, he said. In person. It'll go smoother. Tonight, I insisted. Or I'll message her myself. We stared each other down. Finally, he grabbed his phone, muttered, "Fine," and stepped into the hallway. I could hear his muffled voice, but not the words. After 10 minutes, he came back. She says she'll tag you in the next post, he said. She's already getting great feedback. Labels follow her account, Lena. This could be huge. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you make her take it down. I stared at him in disbelief. That's your version of fixing it? I asked. A tag in the next post? Not even correcting the original? He shrugged. It's better than nothing, he said. You're being stubborn. No. I was done being quiet. My husband, my shadow. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Brielle's face, lit by a ring light, singing my words while hearts and fire emojis flew up the screen. I wasn't just hurt, I was humiliated. The person who was supposed to protect my dreams had handed them to someone else to wear like a costume. The next morning, I woke up with a headache and a decision. If Ethan wouldn't protect my work, I would. My hands shook as I opened my laptop and started digging. I found Brielle's email on her social media bio, business inquiries only. I smiled humorlessly. This was business now. I wrote, "Hi Brielle. I watched your live last night and heard you perform Shadow Heart. Those lyrics and melody are my original work, written and recorded as a full demo months ago. Ethan shared it with you without my written permission for distribution or public performance. I respect your talent and your platform, but I do not consent to my song being presented as your original work. Please remove the current video and any other posts using Shadow Heart without proper credits and written agreement. If you're interested in collaborating officially, I'm open to a professional conversation, with clear terms. Best. Lena Brooks." Before I hit send, I attached a timestamped file of my original demo, along with screenshots of my songwriting notebook dated months earlier. I wanted her to know I wasn't bluffing. Then I hit send. About an hour later, I received a reply. It was short. "Hey Lena. Ethan told me you were okay with me trying out the song on my live to see how it played. I didn't know you were upset. I've already gotten a lot of engagement on it. Taking it down would really hurt my account performance. I'm happy to tag you as a writer and maybe we can work out a split if it goes further. Hope we can keep this positive." My fingers tightened over the keyboard. She wasn't denying it. She was just minimizing it. As if my anger was an inconvenience to her metrics. I wrote back. "Hi Brielle. Thank you for responding. To be clear, I never gave permission for you to perform my song as your own. Ethan did not have the legal or creative authority to give away my rights. Tagging me as a writer in a future post does not fix the fact that your current video presents it as your original. Please remove the existing video within 24 hours. After that, I'll consider consulting an attorney and filing a copyright complaint. This isn't about hurt feelings. It's about ownership and artistic integrity. Lena." I sent it. Then I closed my laptop and went to work. That evening, when I came home, Ethan stood in the kitchen, his expression stormy. "What the hell did you say to Brielle?" he demanded. I dropped my bag. "Good evening to you too," I said flatly. And I told her the truth. "She's pissed," he said. "She said you threatened her. That you'd lawyer up over a TikTok live." I said I'd consider legal action if she didn't remove my song, I corrected. Which she still hasn't done, by the way. He scoffed. "You're overreacting," he repeated. "This is how the game is played, Lena. People bounce ideas around, try things on lives. You're going nuclear over the best opportunity you've ever had." My chest burned. "The best opportunity I've ever had?" I asked. "You mean the opportunity to watch another woman become the girl who wrote Shadow Heart while I'm stuck as a footnote?" "No thanks." "You're impossible," he muttered, turning away. I stared at his back and something clicked in my brain. All these years, I thought Ethan was my biggest supporter. But the truth was harsher. He liked me small. He liked being the one with connections, the one who brought people together, the one who got credit for discovering me, his talented wife. My success couldn't be bigger than his. From day one, he'd been my shadow, standing just close enough to my light to dim it. I thought about every time he'd said, "You're not ready to perform your own stuff yet," or "Let me sing that at my gig, and I'll mention you." How often was I the hidden writer behind his new song at open mics? How many times had I swallowed my discomfort to keep the peace? Too many. I looked at him and realized something quietly devastating. If I wanted to save my music, I might have to lose my marriage. The next morning, Brielle's video was still up. But the caption had changed. Now it said, "New original called Shadow Heart, co-written with Atlena Brooks, amazing songwriter, follow her, Purple Heart." I stared at the tag. My name. Finally visible. But it felt like crumbs. Yes, she credited me. But not honestly. The narrative still implied we'd written it together. That she'd been part of the creation, not just the beneficiary of my work. Comments flooded in. "This is so deep, Brielle. Love your writing so much. Atlena Brooks, you and Brielle are a great team. Can't wait for the full version." A familiar mix of humiliation and fury rose in me. This wasn't justice. This was damage control. I called my cousin Paige, the only lawyer I knew, even if she specialized in contracts for construction companies, not music. I sent her the demo, the timestamps, the screenshots, the emails. She listened quietly. Then she said, "First of all, I'm sorry. This is messed up. Second, I'm not an entertainment lawyer, but I do know this: you have evidence that you wrote the song before she ever performed it. You have written communication acknowledging that. You absolutely have the right to demand she stop misrepresenting it." "What about Ethan?" I asked softly. "He shared it without my permission." She hesitated. "That's a different conversation," she said gently. "One between you and your husband. But from a legal perspective, unless you sign something giving him co-writing or co-ownership, the song is yours." Tears pricked my eyes. "Do you think I'm overreacting?" I whispered. "No," she said firmly. "You're reacting like a professional who wants to protect her work. That's not drama. That's boundaries." We talked about options, DMCA takedowns, formal letters, music lawyers in Nashville. The more we talked, the more I realized I could fight this. Not just emotionally, but legally. But there was another battle I needed to fight first. When Ethan came home that night, I was waiting for him at the kitchen table with a stack of printed emails and my notebook. "We need to talk," I said. He sat down, wary. I took a deep breath. "You betrayed me," I said calmly. "Not just as a songwriter. As a partner." He opened his mouth, but I held up a hand. "Don't interrupt," I said. "I need you to hear this clearly." I slid the papers toward him. "You shared my completed song with another artist without my consent. You let her perform it publicly and claim it as her original. When I asked you to fix it, you minimized my feelings and defended her. You called me dramatic. You pressured me to accept a half-truth version of credit that still makes it look like she helped write it." I looked him straight in the eye. "That's not support," I said. "That's sabotage dressed up as opportunity." He scoffed. "You're twisting this," he said. "I was trying to help your career." "No," I replied, voice steady. "You were trying to help your ego. You wanted to be the guy who discovered a hit song and placed it on the right voice. You wanted to play manager without actually protecting your artist, me. He flinched. That's not fair, he said. I've always been on your side. Then why, I asked, did you never encourage me to sing my own songs on stage? Why did you always say, you're not ready, or let me try it first? Why did my work only matter when someone else's name was attached to it? He didn't answer. I swallowed hard. Ethan, I said quietly, I can fight Brielle in public if I have to. I can hire a lawyer, file complaints, defend my song. But I cannot keep doing that while fighting my own husband at home. Silence. I need to know, I said, are you willing to stand with me fully? That means acknowledging what you did was wrong. That means supporting me if I ask for the video to come down entirely. That means putting my rights above her metrics. His face hardened. I'm not going to ruin someone's career over a misunderstanding, he said. There it was. The answer. I felt something inside me collapse, and then rebuild itself, stronger. Then I can't be married to you, I said softly. His head snapped up. What? I love you, I said. But I will not spend the rest of my life married to someone who is more loyal to strangers' potential fame than to my actual work and dignity. His voice rose. You're going to divorce me over one song? No, I said. I'm going to divorce you over a pattern of you shrinking me to make yourself feel bigger. The song just made it undeniable. He stared at me like he didn't know me. Maybe he never did. The days that followed were a blur. Ethan moved in with a friend temporarily. Temporary turned into permanent. We tried counseling once, but he spent the session arguing that I was throwing away our marriage over pride and stubbornness. The therapist gently suggested that he consider why my boundaries threatened him so much. He didn't go back. I filed for divorce quietly. Meanwhile, I found an entertainment lawyer through Page's network. We drafted a formal cease and desist letter to Brielle, citing copyright law, dated evidence, and clear demands. Remove the video. Stop performing the song publicly. Do not release any version without written agreement. We sent it. 2 weeks later, the video came down. Brielle posted a vague story about creative differences and moving in a new direction. She never mentioned my name again. Part of me was disappointed. I wanted justice, an apology, an acknowledgement. But another part of me realized something more powerful. I didn't need her validation to prove that I was a songwriter. I had my song. My voice. My receipts. And now, for the first time, I had no one standing between my work and the world. No husband filtering my music through his connections. No friend using my lyrics to grow her platform. Just me. And the question that had always scared me. Would I stand up for myself, even if it meant standing alone? A month after the divorce papers were filed, I went back to the same bar where I'd first met Ethan. Open mic night. The room smelled like spilled beer and possibility. I sat in the back, trembling, waiting for my name to be called. When the host finally said, "Next up, we've got Lena Brooks," my legs felt like jelly. But I walked up anyway. I took a deep breath, adjusted the mic, and looked out at the small crowd. "Hi," I said, my voice shaking. "This is an original song. It's called Shadow Heart." I strummed the first chord. And I sang. This time, I poured everything into it, not just the original story of a woman stepping out of invisibility, but all the new layers. The betrayal. The stolen credit. The divorce. The decision to protect my work even if it cost me my comfort. I sang like I had nothing left to lose. When I finished, the bar was quiet for half a second, then people started clapping. Not polite, half-hearted claps. Real applause. A woman at the front table wiped her eyes. A guy at the bar raised his drink toward me. The host gave me a thumbs up. As I stepped off the stage, a man in his 40s approached me. Neatly dressed, wearing a badge with the logo of a small independent label I recognized. "That was yours?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "I wrote it." He nodded slowly, impressed. "I could tell," he said. "There's a lived-in quality to those lyrics. You performing it yourself makes it hit even harder." My heart pounded. "Do you work with artists?" I asked, trying not to sound too eager. He smiled. "I do," he said. "We focus on storytelling-driven songwriters who want to be involved in the process. If you're interested, I'd love to talk more. No promises, but there's something real there." I swallowed, hope rising cautiously. "Yeah," I said. "I'd like that." He handed me his card. As I walked back to my seat, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "I saw your performance. A friend sent me a video from the bar. You sound incredible. I never should have touched your song. I'm sorry. Brielle." I stared at the message. For a moment, the old me, people pleaser, conflict avoider, wanted to respond with, "It's okay." But it wasn't okay. It was survivable. Fixable. A chapter in my story. But not okay. So instead, I wrote, "Thank you for acknowledging that. I wish you well." Then I put my phone away. I didn't need her approval. I had my own voice now. Lessons from the shadow. The label meeting didn't turn me into an overnight star. This is real life, not a fairy tale. But it led to something even better, development. They didn't sign me on the spot, but they set up co-writing sessions, small showcases, and gave me feedback. They encouraged me to start a YouTube channel and TikTok account where I sang my own material, with my face, my name, my story. Over time, I grew a small but dedicated audience. People weren't just listening to my songs. They were listening to my story. I made a video one day titled "My Husband Stole My Song for His Girlfriend." Here's what I did. It wasn't petty. It was honest. I didn't name names. But I told the truth. That your work has value, even when people treat it like a free sample. That love does not excuse betrayal. That being too sensitive often just means you have strong boundaries others benefit from breaking. That the world will take as much of you as you're willing to give away for free. That video went semi-viral. Comments poured in. "He did what? As an artist, this is my worst nightmare. Thank you for reminding me to register my songs. I'm so proud of you for standing up for yourself." Young songwriters messaged me saying they'd started saving drafts with timestamps, registering lyrics, and advocating for their credit in collaborations. Some told me they'd left partnerships, romantic and professional, that were draining their creativity. I realized something. My pain wasn't wasted. It became a warning. A guide. A mirror. Almost a year after the Shadow Heart incident, I ran into Ethan. I was leaving a songwriting workshop downtown, guitar case in hand, when I saw him across the street. He looked smaller somehow. Thinner. Tired. He jogged over. "Lena," he said, slightly out of breath. Hey. Hey, I replied, keeping my tone neutral. We stood awkwardly for a moment. I heard your song on a podcast, he said finally. Some indie show was talking about up-and-coming songwriters. They played Shadow Heart. Said your story was the ultimate comeback arc. My heart jolted. You listened? I asked. He nodded. I did, he said. It was really good. You're really good. Thank you, I said. He shifted. I, also wanted to say. I'm sorry, he muttered. For everything. I thought I was helping. But I see now I just wanted to be important. To someone. To something. I used your work to feel that way. That wasn't fair. I studied his face. He looked sincere. But sincerity doesn't erase consequences. I appreciate the apology, I said. I really do. But I don't regret leaving. He nodded slowly. I figured, he said. You look different. Happier. I smiled faintly. I'm not happier because I'm alone, I said. I'm happier because I'm standing in my own light. He winced, but nodded. You always deserved that, he said quietly. We stood for a moment longer. Take care of yourself, Ethan, I said. You too, Lena, he replied. Then we walked in opposite directions. My heart hurt, but not the way it used to. It was the ache of healed wounds, not fresh ones. Months later, sitting in a small studio, headphones on, I recorded the final version of Shadow Heart. As the bridge swelled, I thought of everything that had led me there. The girl in the trailer park dreaming by a yard sale radio. The woman who hid her notebook under her pillow. The wife who let her husband's voice speak louder than her own. The songwriter who watched her lyrics scroll across someone else's screen. The divorcee who chose herself even when it meant walking into loneliness. The artist who stepped onto a small stage and sang her truth anyway. When I finished the last note, the producer's voice crackled over the intercom. That was it, he said. That was the take. You felt that, right? I smiled, tears in my eyes. Yeah, I said. I really did. Later that year, Shadow Heart didn't top the Billboard charts. But it did something more important. It found the people who needed it. Women messaged me saying it helped them leave controlling relationships. Artists said it gave them courage to speak up about stolen work. Kids from small towns said it made them believe their voices mattered. My life wasn't suddenly perfect. But it was mine. My career. My voice. My boundaries. My lessons. If you're listening to my story, there are a few things I want you to take away, whether you're an artist, a dreamer, or just someone who's tired of being overshadowed. 1. Your work has value, even when it's just a song, just a sketch, or just an idea. The world will tell you it's no big deal to borrow, copy, or try out your creations. Don't let anyone convince you that protecting your work is selfish. 2. Love does not require self-erasure. If someone only supports your dreams when they control them, that's not support. That's possession. 3. Boundaries don't make you difficult, they make you safe. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always call you dramatic when you finally set them. 4. You are allowed to walk away. From bad deals. From toxic collaborations. From marriages where your voice is a background track to someone else's ego. 5. Revenge doesn't always mean destruction. My revenge wasn't ruining Brielle or Ethan. My real revenge was building a life where I no longer needed their permission to shine. 6. Documentation is your friend. Save drafts. Use timestamps. Email yourself your lyrics. Protect your work not because you expect betrayal, but because you deserve security. 7. You are not your shadow. No matter how many times you've shrunk, dimmed yourself, or stood behind someone else's spotlight, you are allowed, right now, today, to step forward. Somewhere out there, a young version of me is writing her first song, thinking no one will ever hear it. To her, and to you, I say, don't give away your light to people who only want your glow without your name. Let them call you sensitive. Let them call you stubborn. Let them call you difficult. History doesn't remember the people who kept the peace by staying small. It remembers the ones who stepped out with their shadow hearts, scars and all, and said, "This is my song. This is my story. And I'm going to sing it myself." Top of form.